and the ascent stage of the lunar module. When the astronauts came back up and rendezvoused with the command module
Right.
and transferred everything to come home,
I recall.
they left the ascent stage, which was the top of the lunar module in orbit. It then could be commanded by radio to deorbit and impact on the moon. And the idea was, on Earth, when you're doing seismic surveys, you need a powerful source of sound waves. If you wait for a natural earthquake, you may wait a long time. So what do in the oil business? You create your own earthquake.
Sure.
You set off a packet of dynamite.
And you're right.
And the shock waves go out, and then you can listen to the reflected sound waves with this instrument called a seismograph.
You can literally map with it.
You can map the underground formation.
Yeah.
So the same technique was applied to the moon, except the astronauts did not bring dynamite, although in fact they did bring some shaped charges that they set off by remote control after Apollo 17, when the astronauts were safely en route home. What they did was they would direct the third stages, the S4B stage, the upper stage of the Apollo stack, as it was called. Remember, you leave the Earth at 25,000 miles per hour.
Yes.
If you don't slow down, you will impact the moon at something like 6,000 miles an hour. Now, what do you think a 23-ton vehicle impacting at 6,000 miles an hour would do in the way of creating a big sound wave?
Oh, big sound wave.
Exactly. So it would be like, it was about the equivalent of 11 tons of TNT, if I remember my numbers. All right? 11 tons of TNT.
All right.
When these things hit, and they were directed to land in very precise areas so that the sound waves would reach all of the seismographs.
Right.
You basically got instantaneous profile, or not instantaneous, but with this sound travels at a certain velocity through the moon's crust. So by watching the delays and which seismographs were activated first and second and third,
right,
you get a beautiful mapping of the surface composition and velocity and structure and all that of the moon. Well, the first one they did this with, which was Apollo 11, the damn moon rang for over an hour.
Oh?
Now, earthquakes on Earth, the wave train, the sound waves damp out quickly in a few minutes, 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops.
Right.
The Earth does not resonate. It doesn't ring for an hour. Ultimately, when they have the network in place, one of the impacts of the S4B, the moon rang for over 4.5 hours.
God, the only way that could be...
No, don't say it, because it's not true.